Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with me today from your own homes. It is a really strange and difficult time for all of us, I think. It's hard to be alone at home, but this is a great time to keep up with practices that we have, our existing practices, physical exercise practices or spiritual practices like prayer and meditation. It's also a really good time to start new ones if that feels accessible and authentic to you. So if you're totally new to yoga or meditation, I'm very honored to be practicing with you today. And I hope that the 40 minutes that we spend together give you a little bit of peace of mind, space in your body, and a sense of comfort and well-being in a time where there is a lot of uncertainty. We have to decide now to make friends with change and to not make an enemy of what's happening and the way things are. And I think that the things we're going to practice today are really great tools to help us do those things. So we're going to start with a very simple and accessible breath practice called Samavriti, which means even breathing. You should take a tall seat on your mat. I'm facing sideways so that I can face you, but you should feel free to sit facing the top of your own mat. And I'm sitting up on a blanket. I do suggest you sit in a way that elevates your hips above your knees, even just a little bit. It's more comfortable. It's easier to sit like this for a period of time. So if you have a blanket or a towel nearby, you can fold it up and sit on it. You can also sit on a pillow or a small couch cushion. If you're uncomfortable sitting on the floor, you can sit in a chair, but please sit on the edge of the chair with your feet flat on the ground. Don't let your back rest against the back of the chair, but hold yourself up and put your palms flat on your body. Okay. So if you're comfortable with it, you can close your eyes. If not, you can just look forward and down to soften your gaze and heavy your eyelids. Samavriti, even breathing, is exactly what it sounds like. We will match the length of the inhale to the length of the exhale. We'll do it in 4 count parts. When you practice this on your own, it doesn't matter the length of the inhale, the exhale, it just matters that they match each other. Breathing in this way signals to your nervous system that it's safe to be in a rest and digest state of being instead of in a fight or flight. The way we breathe has a profound influence on what happens in our bodies, how we feel. So even though we can't control any of our external circumstances really, especially not now or ever, and we often feel like we can't control how we feel, we can influence the way we feel in our bodies and even in our minds if we influence the breath. So we're going to try to do it now. I suggest you bring your hands to your belly because in addition to breathing evenly, another way we can use the breath to influence the nervous system is to breathe into the belly, allowing the belly to expand and soften as we inhale. As the inhale moves down, the belly expands and softens, and then as we exhale, the belly stays soft and all the air comes up and out. So we'll keep the breath in and out through the nose, hands on the belly, eyes closed or soft. Exhale all the air out completely wherever you are in your cycle of breath. And gently and steadily through the nose, pull in and inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Keep going with that on your own for a few more cycles of breath, even breaths in and out through the nose, into the belly, feeling the belly expand into your hands. You can finish up the cycle that you're on. Release the hands face down onto the tops of your legs, or if you like, you can bring them to press at your heart center using your thumb to slightly lift your chest, taking a slight drop of the chin. The back and the front of the neck stay long, with eyelids heavy or closed. Let's just take a moment before we start to move to call to mind what brought you onto your mat today to practice with me, remembering for a moment what motivated you to do this, and using that to call to mind an intention for the next 33 minutes or so. Your intention could be simply to breathe, it could be spaciousness, peace of mind. It doesn't have to be complicated. Bow the head, release the hands, gently blink the eyes open, and look up. So if you're sitting up on something, come to sit on the floor. Remove anything underneath you, and extend both legs out in front of you. So feet can be touching, they can be about hips width distance apart, it doesn't quite matter. We're going to start with a simple stretch. So hug your right knee into your chest, the sole of the foot flat on the mat on the inside of the leg, and then just pick it up and move it to the outside of your left leg. So we're going to stretch these little muscles back here, your piriformis, and if you want to intensify the stretch, pull your heel up closer towards you. If it's too intense, step the foot further away from you. We're hugging the right knee towards the left shoulder, sitting up very tall, keeping a flex in the left foot. It's not a twist, but you are hugging the knee in close. So just like we were breathing evenly at the beginning, doing our Samavriti Pranayama breath practice, we'll try to keep the breath even and steady through the duration of our movement practice, our asana practice. If you can, keep the breath in and out through the nose. Release that leg, extend it long in front of you, and hug the opposite knee into the chest. Step the foot outside the straight leg, and go ahead and hug the knee in on this side. And take a second to notice if one of the sides is different than the other. Perhaps it's more intense on one side. That's honestly probably the case. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, it's just something to notice and be aware of, getting information and feedback from our bodies and paying attention to them. Keep your chest bright, feeling the crown of your head reaching towards the ceiling as your sitting bones root down into the mat. The right leg in front of you stays flexed, pulling the toes back towards your shin. Go ahead and let that go. Extend both legs out in front of you. We're going to find a child's pose. You can face the top of your mat. I'll face the top of mine too. Just swing your legs behind you. Bring your big toes to touch. Bring your knees wide, about as wide as your mat. And then walk your hands out in front of you, bringing your rib cage to the tops of your legs and your forehead towards the mat. If your forehead doesn't reach and you have that blanket or cushion near you, you can just put it under your head, but let your head rest on something. So you stay in this posture. I'll come out of it so that I can talk to you without my head facing the floor. Return to the even breathing here. maybe this is an easy posture for you to be in, maybe it feels intense, but this is an opportunity to feel grounded. You are close to the ground and you are also looking inward. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Just a couple more breaths here. You can start to press yourself up by walking your hands back. We're going to find a tabletop position. So stack your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Hands are shoulders width distance apart. So there shouldn't be that much space between the pinky edge side of your fingers and the outer edge of your mat. Toes are untucked behind you. If you look back at your knees, they should be about the width of your hips. Okay, so you have a nice sturdy foundation here. Your spine is pretty even, not rounded too much yet and not sinking into the belly. You can engage the muscles of your abdominal region to firm up your belly. And we're going to take some simple cat-cow movements here. So we move with the breath. On your inhale, drop your belly, open your chest, gaze up, cow. Exhale, reverse it. Press into the hands and the tops of the feet to round your spine like a cat. Chin tucks towards the chest, gaze inward. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, look forward. Maybe feel that the heels of your hands are slightly pulling back. And exhale, round the spine, drop your chin, and gaze inward. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep moving like this. You can go fast or slow. Just match the whole length of the movement to one breath. So your whole inhale is your cow, and your whole exhale is your cat. Keep going on your own to the rhythm of your own breath. We're starting to warm up the spine, getting used to moving with connection to the breath. Keep pressing into the tops of your feet behind you. And after your next cat, you can return to a neutral spine. I'm going to take a simple shoulder stretch. So bring your weight into your left palm, reach your right arm up, open your chest, feel your shoulder blades stack. Exhale, sweep the right arm underneath your left armpit like you're threading a needle. Bring your right cheek to the mat. And you can stay like this or reach the left fingertips forward. Keep breathing, opening the chest, feeling the opening in your shoulders for one more breath in. And then exhale, you can reverse it and come back to tabletop. Let's take one round of cow and cat to reset. Return to neutral, and then we'll take the other side. So we inhale, sweep the left arm up, open the chest, feel the shoulder blades stack. Exhale, thread the needle on this side, bringing the left cheek or ear to the mat, crawling the right fingertips forward, opening the chest, and continuing to breathe evenly. Crawl the right fingertips back towards your face, press into the right palm, open up towards the left side of your mat again, and then return to a tabletop. Do another round of cow and cat. Return to a neutral spine and look forward. Extend your right leg behind you, tuck the toes, and then just start to rock back and forth, getting into the calf muscle, and also starting to work with the joint of the big toe of the right foot. You can keep working here, or you can lift the right leg up behind you, parallel to your hip. You're probably in a bigger space than me, but I'm kicking my couch. Stay here, or extend the left arm in front of you. we'll start to bring the knee to the elbow. So we'll start to work with some core compression. If you're pregnant, just skip this part. So inhale here, and then we're using the exhale to compress the core and bring the knee into the elbow. So exhale through the nose with intention, pull the knee into the elbow. Around the spine like a cat spine. Inhale, we re-extend. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale to extend. And exhale, pull it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come back to your tabletop. Take a second to reset, and then we'll do the other side. Extend the left leg behind you, tuck the toes, and just take some rocks back and forth. Keep breathing evenly, noticing any sensations that come up. And then find stillness. Lift the left leg behind you, parallel with the hip. Stay here or extend the right arm in front of you. Breathing in and out. Inhale. And if you did so on the other side, exhale, knee into the elbow, round the spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, extend. And exhale, pull it in. Inhale to extend one more time. And exhale back to tabletop. Extend the right leg behind you one more time. Spin the foot down. Swing your left knee behind you, so it becomes a kickstand of sorts. Look at your left hand and see that it's still underneath your left shoulder. And then open your right arm up towards the ceiling, supported side plank. You can gaze up at your right thumb. You can also gaze down at your left hand. Keep trying to press into the top of the left foot so you can press the hips forward a little bit. Don't forget to press into the outer edge of your right foot. Even breathing. One more breath in. And exhale, sweep the right arm over the ear, down back to the mat. Square yourself off towards the top of the mat. You're in tabletop again. Extend the left leg behind you. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Spin your left heel down. Kickstand your right leg behind you. Check the position of your right hand under your right shoulder, and then sweep the left arm up. Gaze up at the left thumb or down at the right hand. Hips press forward, pressing into the outer edge of your left foot, the pinky toe side. Even breathing. Exhale, sweep the left arm over your ear, down to the mat. Find yourself once again in the tabletop. We'll step the right foot back again, toes are tucked, and then we're going to move into a regular plank pose. So step the left foot back to meet it, and then from your plank, you have the length of your downward facing dog set up exactly right, so you can just bend your knees and push your hips up and back. So we won't stay here too long in this downward facing dog, but do look up at your hands. Check to see that they are shoulders width distance apart, so just like we set up in tabletop. See that there are a lot of space between all of your fingers. And take a second to bring your attention to pressing down a little more firmly in the knuckles of your index finger and your thumb. Your shoulder blades should feel wide across your back. Your armpits should feel like they're spinning in to face towards your ears. And here in downward facing dog, because we are pushing, it's okay for your shoulder blades to move up towards your ears. You don't need to be maniacal about it and like scrunch them up, but don't feel like you need to pull them down your back. In fact, please don't do that. So make sure that your hips are moving up and back. Your rib cage is moving toward your thighs. If you're finding yourself in more of a position like this, bend your knees, push your rib cage towards your thighs, and then press your heels down and back. Good. You can pedal out the feet here. Continue to breathe evenly. If you find yourself slipping, press a little more firmly into the finger pads of all of your fingers. And then take a bend in your knees and walk slowly with ease towards the top of your mat. Once you get there, let your feet be about hip-width distance apart. You can measure that by making two fists, putting them between the arches of your feet, and just letting the arches of your feet hug the outsides of the fists. From here, take a generous bend in your knees so that the tops of your thighs support your rib cage. Let your head hang and grab opposite elbows. From here, you can straighten the legs if that feels good, but it's also great to keep them bent. We are decompressing the spine here, letting the head hang heavy. You can sway from side to side. You can rock back and forth on your feet. Let your hands go. Head stays heavy. Deep bend in the knees and slowly start to roll up to stand. Head is the last thing to come up. Shrug the shoulders. Roll out your neck. And come to stand at the top of your mat in Tadasana Mountain Pose. So traditionally in this posture, we take the big toes to touch, the ankles to touch, and stand with our legs together. If you feel more stable with your feet hips width distance apart, you can return to that. We'll do a modified version of a sun salutation, a modified Surya Namaskar A. Exhale all the air out completely here, standing at the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms out, widen up, palms press overhead, gaze up at your thumbs. Exhale, bend your knees, fold forward over your legs, palms press into the mat, option to straighten the legs. Inhale, bring your palms to your shins, push your shins away so you can look forward and lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, return your palms to the mat, take 2 steps back to plank. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, lower your knees to the mat, open your chest, bend your elbows and drop your chest and your chin. Inhale, slide your chest forward, untuck your toes, lift your front shoulders, low cobra. Exhale, press back to a child's pose, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe here. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, pull your knee into your nose like we did on all fours, and then step the foot as close as you can to your right thumb. If it doesn't make it all the way there, pick up your foot with your right hand and move it forward. Spin the left heel down. Cartwheel your hands up, keeping the right knee bent to find a warrior 2. The right knee tracks right over the right ankle, and it's moving slightly over towards the pinky toe side of your foot, so you're finding external rotation in the right hip. Keep pressing through the outer edge of the left foot. Arms are even, gaze is over the right fingertip. Another breath in and out. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Heel toe your left foot in a bit. Re-extend your arms, setting up for triangle pose, Trikonasana. On your exhale, pull your right hip back as you reach your right arm forward and then down. So your right palm should make contact with something. Your shin, your ankle, or your big toe. The left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Gaze up at your left thumb. Keep pressing through the outer edge of your left foot. You're finding a stretch in your left hip. Even breathing. On your next exhale, rebend the right knee. Spiral both hands down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, step the left foot by the left thumb. Spin the right heel down, cartwheel the hands up, warrior 2. Keeping the left knee out to the left side over the left pinky toe, knee stacking right over the ankle. Shoulders right over the hips, So avoiding leaning forward and instead staying aligned and upright. Even breathing. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, pull the left hip back as you reach forward and down. Making contact with the shin, the ankle, or the big toe. If you needed to adjust the stance and pull the right foot in again, like we did on the other side, do that. Gaze up at the right thumb. Get your shoulders involved so you feel the left shoulder suction up and in, and the reach of the right fingertips coming from the right shoulder. Exhale, both palms down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Look forward, bend your knees, walk or hop to the top of your mat. When you get there, inhale, look forward, palms press the shins away, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward, palms press against the mat, knees can be bent. Inhale, we're coming up for chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit your hips back, sweep your arms forward and up. Keep pressing evenly through both feet, knees, calves, pull together. Biceps bring the ears, gaze up. You can sweep the arms back, pinkies to the back of the room, palms facing each other, chest open and bright. Staying here for a few more breaths, even breathing. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale, fold forward over the legs, Uttanasana. You can separate the feet, hang out here for a second, and let that go. So with the feet hips width distance apart, we're going to come back up again for one more chair just briefly. So bend the knees, sit the hips back, sweep the arms up, breathe in, and exhale, we're going to come all the way down to the mat. So keep bending your knees, sitting your hips back, allow the arms to pull you forward, reach with your fingertips, let the reaching come from your shoulder blades, pulling wide across your back. Keep lowering and lowering and lowering until you sit down on the mat. Bring your hands behind your knees, and we'll set up for Navasana boat pose. With your hands behind your knees, your sitting bones rooting down into the mat, lift your shins parallel to the floor. You can gently point your toes. Use the leverage of your hands behind your knees to open up your chest. So what we really want to avoid here is rounding in the spine, especially in the low back part of your spine. So use your hands to open up your chest. If you're feeling challenged here, stay and breathe. If this feels relatively doable for you, you can try extending the hands. Palms face each other. Reaching, again, the reach comes from the shoulder blades. Stay or work to straighten the legs. But straightening the legs is not important. This is still a lot of work. And in fact, I think this is less about strength in your core and more about space in the front of your hips. But both are great. Keep breathing. And exhale, bring your feet to the mat. Let that go. Cross your ankles at the shins. Perch your elbows on top of your knees, like you're going to give someone a high 10. Roll back on your sitting bones and then roll forward to hands and knees. Step yourself back to a plank pose. Hold your plank for one breath in. Exhale, shift your shoulders forward of your fingertips. Open your chest, bend your elbows back, and lower in one piece. From here, untuck your toes. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Check that your hands, instead of being right underneath the front of your shoulders and your upper arm bones, are right underneath your elbows. So bring your palms more in line with your low ribs. Keeping the tops of the feet pressing into the mat, lifting the front of your shoulders away from the mat. Lift your chest and head, low cobra. Inhale here. Exhale, lower just the forehead down to the mat, let your shoulders stay lifted. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower just the forehead. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Stay, or zip up your legs, bring your toes to touch. And on your next inhale, lift the legs and the chest. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Keep pressing into your hands, pulling your shoulders back to brighten the chest. You should feel your glutes working a lot here in this back bend and in every back bend. Keep breathing, one more breath in. Exhale, lower everything down. You can make a pillow for your forehead with your hands and shake out your hips. Return to stillness. Find the same position we had before if you want to repeat the back bend we just did. If you want to do something a little more challenging, bring your palms flat on the mat by your hips. So straighten out your arms. Continue to lift your front shoulders. On an inhale, lift your chest, lift your head, lift your feet. Pressing into your hands to open the chest. Keep breathing. You can stay or lift the hands off the mat, turning the palms to face each other. Kind of like what we did with our arms in chair pose. Keep breathing, let the gaze be soft at the tip of the nose. You can stay, you can come out of it, or you can bend your knees, point your toes towards the ceiling, reach back, grab the ankles, kick into your hands and lift up, Dhanurasana bow pose. On an exhale, gently release whatever posture you're in. Make the forehead pillow with your hands and shake out the hips. Find stillness and then flip yourself over on your mat like a pancake. So stay as low as you can. Come to lie on your back. Let your feet be as wide as your mat and your knees knock in to support each other. This is a constructive resting position. We're using it to neutralize the spine after the back bending that we just did. So no need to press your lower back into the mat. Your spine has a natural S-curve and we want to allow it to be in its natural position now. So it's okay if there's space between your lower back and the mat. You can bring both hands to your belly, one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart, and we'll just take a moment here to soften and lengthen the breath again. Reach forward with your hands, so let your arms be long. Without bending your arms, pop your knees up into your palms. So the weight of your legs and your shins and your feet is dangling from your arms, holding them and suspending them. Just another way to continue neutralizing our spines after back bending. Back bends are energizing, so maybe you feel a little more awake now than you did before. Maybe you feel your heart beating faster. Release both soles of the feet to the mat. Do your best to keep your feet about hips width distance apart here. I know you can't see them, but just do your best to feel it. So they're not as wide as your mat anymore. They're closer in towards each other, but not touching. Gently extend your right heel and sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Open the hip, turning your right toes to the right side, bend the knee, cross the right knee over the left ankle, setting up for a figure 4 stretch. So we're going to keep getting into the hips like we did at the beginning of class. So in this position, we want the right knee to be moving away from us towards the top or the bottom of your mat. But we want that movement away to come from the hip and not from the joint of the knee. So if you feel any discomfort or really any sensation at all in your knee, back off and try to open the hip by moving the hip. So you're doing external rotation in the hip. It helps to think about using the glutes of your right butt cheek to do that. If this is a big stretch for you, stay here. If you want to intensify it, on an exhale, take a little crunch up, shoulder blades come off of the mat, reach forward, thread the needle, grab the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin, and then bring everything back down towards you. Even breathing. You can take some natural movements, maybe moving in circles in one direction and then in the other. Allowing the right hip to open and release. The hips are a place where lots of us hold lots of things. They're an emotional body part. And it's therapeutic, I think, to work with them in this way. This is a great way, an accessible way to work with opening the hips. So if you have the thigh or the shin of your left leg, go ahead and release the sole of the left foot back down to the mat. We're going to take a simple figure 4 twist. So you can drop the sole of the right foot down over to the left. You're keeping everything the same, except now you're in a twist. You can cactus the arms next to you, send them out wide. You can take the left hand to the outside of the right ankle and gently press it away. Another breath in and out. Inhale, gently come back upright. Release the right foot down to the mat. Readjust on the mat. Extend the left leg towards the ceiling, sole of the left foot reaching up. Open the left toes to the left side, bend the knee. Cross the left knee over the right, the left ankle over the right knee. So we're gently opening the hip on this side. The sides may be different. So maybe on the other side you brought the knee into the chest, but on this side you don't. I won't on this side because I have something funny in my left knee. But if you want to reach forward, take that little crunch, thread the needle, and then pull the whole shape back. Even breathing, keeping a gentle flex on the left foot. You can choose to close your eyes, starting to relax. Let's take that twist on this side. So you'll keep everything the same, but drop the whole shape over to the right, the sole of the left foot coming to meet the floor on the right side of your body. Spread the arms, cactus them, reach for the heel and press the foot away. Whatever you did on the other side. In a twist like this, the breath is a little bit constricted because all of the space in the lower part of our abdomen is tightened up. So just notice that and do your best to keep the breath even and deep. Inhale, gently bring everything back to center. The sole of the left foot comes back down towards the mat. So we're nearing the end of our 40 minutes. If you are ready to stop practicing, that's fine, I understand. But I will keep going and lead us in a brief meditation practice. So if you'd like to stick around for that, I would love for you to stay. You're welcome to stay lying down on your back the way you would in a traditional Shavasana practice, the final resting pose at the end of every class. So if you want to do that, just extend the legs out in front of you, let the feet flop out towards the side, the arms away from you, not touching anything, palms facing up, totally relaxed, close your eyes. You can meditate lying down like this. That's fine. It's more traditional to meditate in an upright seated position, so if you'd like to sit up, you can. Just slowly bring your knees into your chest, gently roll over to one side, press yourself up to sit, and then return to the tall seat that we had at the beginning of class. So I will sit up on my blanket, and you can sit or lie down however you like. So we're going to do a meditation practice called Tonglen. It is a loving kindness meditation. And we also work with the breath in Tonglen. So if you've practiced with me before or meditated with me before, we've probably done this together. I love this practice. I think it is uniquely transformative, profound, and beautiful. And I have found great solace and comfort in it. I hope that you will too. So the idea of Tonglen is that we use the breath to imagine pulling in towards us the things that give us discomfort, any sort of feeling ill at ease, pain, distress, things that we would call negative emotions or experiences. We pull them in with the inhale. And then when we exhale, we release out from us into the world whatever the remedy is for that situation. So maybe someone would inhale a feeling of anxiety about their health, anxiety about access to resources, anxiety about finances, all of these things that are coming up for so many people right now. And then on the exhale, we imagine sending out into the world good health, access to medical care, a good job, whatever it is that would remedy that situation and bring a sense of spaciousness, ease, and peace. So I'll teach this practice to you in 4 parts, a brief 4-part meditation. You don't need to call to mind your discomfort quite yet. We'll work with texture and spaciousness and color before we get to that. So find a tall seat. Palms rest face down anywhere on your body. Feel your sitting bones root down as your spine grows long. The top of your head reaches towards the ceiling. The front and the back of your neck stay long, even as you take a slight bow of the chin. Eyelids closed or soft. A moment to pay attention to your breath and experience a flash of stillness in your mind. We did all of that movement and asana practice to create spaciousness in our body and an opportunity, though it's okay if it doesn't happen, for stillness in the mind. We'll start our Tonglen practice by working with texture and sensation. So the next time you inhale, I want you to imagine breathing in a sense of claustrophobia, darkness, tightness, humidity. Whatever comes up for you, breathe it in. Take a deep breath into the belly, into the chest. Another sip of air in. Retain the breath, and then on your exhale, exhale out a sense of spaciousness, ease, lightness, comfort, sunlight. Let's do that another time. Breathing in deeply, a huge breath into the belly, into the chest, pulling into yourself, sense of claustrophobia, darkness, humidity, textures and sensations that we would consider unpleasant. And then exhaling out completely through your nose or your mouth, your choice. They're opposites. Lightness, ease, spaciousness, fresh air, sunlight. Take a moment to call to mind something in your life causing you feelings of discomfort, something that you have been wanting to move away from, that you avoid feeling, that causes you anxiety, stress, or pain. Call it to mind, and on your inhale, honoring that those are your real feelings and experiences, pull it in, deep into your belly, into your chest. Another sip of air at the top. Exhale whatever the remedy is for that situation. Send it out into the world, a complete exhale. Another time, a big inhale, calling the same or something different in to the belly, to the chest, a little more air. Exhale, this time let it go through your mouth. Send it out with the remedy, out into the world. Take a moment to pause and call to mind the experience of every other person on the planet who could be having the same experience you're having. You are certainly not experiencing whatever your discomfort is alone. There are so many of us, and our experiences are so similar. So the next time you inhale, breathe in all those feelings of discomfort and pain on behalf of everyone else who's also feeling those things. And exhale, sigh it out through your mouth, and send with that exhale the remedy to all other living beings feeling the same pain and discomfort that you are. Sorry for crying a little bit. Actually, I'm not sorry. It's okay for these things to come up. Let's do it again on behalf of everyone else. Inhale into your belly, to your chest, all of the discomfort, and exhale, sigh out the remedy. Return to your normal way of breathing. One of the reasons I love this practice is because it is a way to honor the uncomfortable feelings and experiences that we have. We honor them and acknowledge them when we pull them in. And when we imagine everyone else experiencing those things, we create a sense of unity and compassion and loving kindness for ourselves and others. And when we exhale out the remedy, we signal to ourselves and to everyone else that we wish them well. If you like, you can bring your palms to press at the center of your chest like we did at the beginning of the class, lifting the sternum up. Take a slight bow of the head. A moment to recall the intention you set before we started moving and meditating. You can slowly blink the eyes open and let the room come back to you. Thank you everyone for doing this with me, for staying a little bit late. If you stayed, please don't hesitate to get in touch and let me know if there's any way that I can support you during this strange time. We are all finding ways to take care of ourselves and each other right now, and I think that that's very beautiful, and I would be honored to do whatever I can for you remotely. So I hope you have a beautiful weekend, even if you're mostly staying inside like we are. Okay, bye everyone.